Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mr. Caro channel. Today we are going to take a look at Tom Ford Neroli Protofino. So please stay tuned. Okay, so today I'm going to do a review on the fresh fragrance from the House of Tom Ford Neroli Protofino. Some information about Tom Ford Neroli Protofino. This fragrance is from Tom Ford and the name of the fragrance is Neroli Protofino. It was released in 2011 and the perfumer is said to be Rodrigo Flores Rux. Concentration is eau de parfum and retails for around $270 for 50 ml. And this is marketed as unisex. Actually, this should be the first fresh fragrance from Tom Ford's private blend line. Actually, some of the fragrances which were released in the same year along with Neroli Protofino, some of them are Santal Blush and Jasmine Rouge, and the other one was Lavender Palm. So quite a strong year for Tom Ford, I should say. And quick take a look at the presentation. So again, this is Tom Ford Neroli Protofino from the private blend line. So it comes into this iconic private blend collection style bottle. Absolutely amazing. This is one of my favorite collection bottles that I could think of because it is just so iconic. It has that class. I really like the shape of the bottle, and you just want to collect them side by side and just watch them, and they look fantastic. I especially like Neroli Protofino, this nice emerald green glass, golden label sticker. It gives that contrast really good. I also like this golden top here. I actually wanted to get the big 250 ml bottle, which that even looks better. I don't like the 100 ml. I like the 50 ml, but I even like the 250 ml better. That one just absolutely amazing. Let's take a quick spray. Yeah, a decent sprayer, nothing unusual, very standard stuff. So this is Tom Ford's Neroli Protofino and it's a beautiful presentation. So let's get into the smell. Some of the notes are bergamot, mandarin orange, lemon, bitter orange, lavender, rosemary, myrtle, African orange flower, neroli, jasmine, pittosporum, amber, ambrette, and angelica. So let's put some on here. Okay, so this fragrance opens up with the dominant neroli and a mixture of citrus fruits. The citrus here has a tangy and juicy quality to it. I can really smell the mandarin orange. The neroli here is kind of dense and beefy, I'd say. For me, this opening is not as bright as many people refer to it as. It's more of a toned down kind of freshness that I'm getting here. I imagine being more in the shades rather than under the sunlight. The opening somehow reminded me of luxury hotel lobbies in Southeast Asia, Thailand for example, where they have the fountains with the lotus leaves floating on the water. That's what this opening is reminding me of. That's what Tom Ford is good at, right? It doesn't smell cheap at all. It smells luxurious and fresh at the same time. So once you get into the dry down, the citrus and neroli dies down quite quickly and the ambrette muskiness takes over. This is the musk where it smells clean like a bar of soap. There is a hint of rosemary accord which gives it that a little bit piney pepper nuance and a kick to the fragrance. On contrary to the boldish beefy opening, the dry down goes into a very clean soapy fresh just came out of the shower vibe. Some other fragrances that gives a similar impression is like Creed's Original Vetiver, Mugler Cologne, and maybe 4711 Cologne. Give you some of this similar experiences. This should appeal as a very ethnic new world kind of smell for those who live in the western side of the world. Let me share with you about the Japanese market in particular. In Japan, this is going to be a familiar smell to a lot of Japanese people. And the reason being, this similar accord is used in bath sea salt kind of products, which is extremely popular in Japan, and it is called bath clean. As you may know, bathing in the bathtub is a major part of the Japanese culture. Bath clean was one of the earliest products which aimed to enhance the bathing experience, released all the way back in 1930. As you would expect, Bath Clean uses the same neroli accord, very reminiscent of Neroli Protofino. Bath Clean is a nationally popular product that if you grew up in Japan, you just had to, or you're forced to experience it at least once. It does really remind me of that experience, you know, going to my grandparents' house They prepared the bathtub. That was their way of hospitality to your grandkids in those days, I guess. And that's why in Japan, this would smell very familiar and even maybe authentic to some people. So, that's a very particular story in Japan. But all in all, a very nice, clean. In the opening, you get a very bold, beefy neroli with the citrus, and in the dry down, you get a more soapy, fresh vibe, and very solid. Okay, so let's get into the overall rating. So overall rating for Neroli Protofino goes like this. Let's go into the uniqueness. To me, as a Japanese person, I'm very familiar with this accord. Therefore, I do not find this fragrance, too unique. And you can also find a well-made neroli fragrance these days. But I do like the smell, and I appreciate Tom Ford for bringing this accord to the global market. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Performance. So wow. Performance, I would have to say this is terrible. 1 to 2 hours of less than moderate projection, and after that hardly noticeable projection for around 3 to 4 hours total. Very underwhelming, especially the opening that I really like. It dies off so quick. In like 15-30 minutes it's already completely into dry down. So I don't know, you will have to reapply this every once in a while if you want to experience this fragrance throughout the whole day. So that's why I'm going to give it a 1 out of 5 for the performance. Versatility, an opulent smelling neroli freshie. Yeah, it's gonna do well in all occasions in hot weather. Though being a very versatile accord, the performance makes it very difficult for you to use it in outdoor situations. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 for the versatility. Complexity wise, though I really like the smell, I think this fragrance is quite simple and linear. So I don't think there's anything particularly complex about this. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Compliment wise, I think it will do pretty good job in pulling compliments in the Western areas of the world. In Japan, since it's such a well-known accord, I don't know. I don't think anybody would be particularly impressed by it or amazed by it. So that would be the downside of using this in Japan. On the other side, no one would actually dislike this. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Value for the money, I'm afraid, but this is probably the worst value for the money fragrance I own a full bottle of. I think there are tons of other options which can do the same thing with much better performance and much lesser price. Nuclear Cologne can be one of them. Not completely same. I guess Nuclear Cologne is a little bit more synthetic in these things, but lasts a lot more. So I don't know. There are tons of neroli fragrances out in the market these days, even from the niche brands. I don't think there's a good enough justification that you need to buy this fragrance. Especially for the price. So unless you just are collecting Tom Ford fragrances, I don't think you would have to buy this. So I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5. Sorry for that, but I'm being very honest here. And the season wise, yeah, spring and summer all day long, not a fall and winter fragrance. So overall, I like the smell of this fragrance. Don't get me wrong, I myself being a Tom Ford fan, I collect them. I do not regret buying this bottle. I'm happy that I have it. However, I would not recommend this fragrance to someone asking for advice because of its terrible performance and that you can just find a lot of other better options these days. So I like it. I don't regret owning it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So that's my overall rating. That was my take on Tom Ford's Neroli Protofino. Do you guys like it? Do you not like it? Please comment down in the section below and tell us how you feel about it. If you like my contents, please give that video a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.